Hello students, I'm Christopher Hanlon with another episode of the Close Reading Cooperative, the podcast and literary analysis for English majors. And right now I am thousands of miles from the campus at Eastern Illinois University, here at Harlexton College in the Midlands of England, where you should be studying, by the way. But even though I'm thousands of miles away, perhaps because I'm thousands of miles away, I'm thinking about you and always thinking about how I can help advance your progress as an English major. And today, actually, maybe because I'm so far from America, I'm thinking of a very American poem that we can use to learn a little something more about how poems work. It's a poem called Concord Hymn by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It was written in 1836. And even if you've never heard the poem before, I bet you'll recognize at least one of the lines. Here's the first stanza from that poem. By the rude bridge that arched the flood, their flag to April's breeze unfurled, here once the embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard round the world. Okay, so I know you recognize at least one line from that first stanza, that bit about the shot heard round the world. A very famous line by Emerson. But actually the lesson I wanted to offer you today has less to do with the first stanza than with the last. So here is how that last stanza of Concord Hymn goes. Spirit that made those heroes dare to die and leave their children free, bid time and nature gently spare the shaft we raise to them and thee. And this is a poem that Emerson wrote for the occasion of laying this votive stone, as he called it, an obelisk along the Concord River, marking that spot where the American Revolution began. But what I want you to notice, students, is the way he uses that word spirit. Now, whenever a poet uses an abstraction, like spirit or justice or nature, and speaks of it as if it were a person to which that poet could directly address him or herself, that's a technique known as apostrophe. So your assignment this week in your literature class is to look for examples of apostrophe and to be the first one in your class to point it out when it occurs. Okay, and also, if you haven't yet, find out who is leading this year's trip to Harlexton study abroad, either for the summer or the semester, and sign up. All right, this is an amazing place, and that's where we live, and you won't regret it. We'll see you next week with the Close Reading Cooperative.